Okay, it's Tuesday. So much happening in the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to start with The Nation. Why borders won't reopen for now, says federal government. Anxiety as new wage talks hold. Siege to APC chair's home never happened, says Edo Court. Court orders interim freezing of 45 bank accounts for rice smugglers. Fake Islamic center found in Daura. Picture here, 94 suspected internet fraudsters held in Osogbo as EFCC raids joint. Igbo leaders head for villa over neglect. And Evaristo Outwood win Booker Prize. Let's talk about this picture story. The Osogbo.
Yes, so the EFCC in the Ibadan Zonal Office in Osogbo, based on intelligence report over a while, stormed this nightclub called Club Secret Underground. I mean, what a name.
Wow.
And the story is that they host parties for fraudsters and people who are involved in, you know, like 419 scammers. When they have done their operation, then they come there to spend their loot. So allegedly, EFCC went there, stormed there. They were able to arrest about 94 people.
They made them sit on their cars.
Yes.
I don't understand what that is about. Each of them had to sit on the cars, and they took pictures of them, and they seized phones.
19 cars.
99.
I mean, I think the cars are regular cars, Corollas.
Exactly, it's just qualifying it. There's nothing exotic about
cars,
these
their
cars.
phones, laptops. They seized all of that. But a lawyer was against what happened, saying that a lot of people, they actually picked up 95 of them from the club, saying that a lot of regular people go to the club. So the EFCC should stop barging into places like that to pick up people who they now say they want to screen them and investigate them. And the same thing happened a few months ago where they picked up about 21 Osun State University students claiming that they were Yahoo only for them after beating them, for them to realize that they were not. So they have to find ways to actually...
Although, to be fair, they said that investigations will continue. So, of course, to differentiate. But now you have put their pictures.
They are
themselves. That's the problem with our country.
Another story quickly. There was a freezing, a federal high court.
Headline in Tribune. Right. Moving on to Daily Sun. Federal government orders total border closure. Presidency, Nigeria treats Igbos badly, says Peter Obi. FG accepts responsibility over the PPP failure. Gunmen kidnapped 2 children in Delta school. Bayelsa Kogi politically volatile, says INEC. And Reps Minority Post storming PDP over abandoned reports. Okay, border closure, very quickly.
Yes, so the Nigerian Customs has played a total ban. What we had before was a partial ban. Now they have banned all goods, export and import coming from the land border, saying that every good should come, all the goods should come from the air and the sea, where they have scanners to be able to ensure that the goods coming in are healthy for Nigerians. And people saying that they are overriding the ECOWAS, because there's this law of free movement between ECOWAS countries that if it's only when you are well, you will have rights to, you will be claiming your rights. And this is for security reasons. So security trumps any other law.
They also give a condition concerning the countries. That the countries...
I think they say Benin and Niger have not been following the stipulated laws based on ECOWAS. So if the goods come in, they still have to be sealed. That when they get to the port, they still have to be sealed until they get to their destination.
So once Benin and Niger...
Benin will open the things, before...
I have to take this story concerning Peter Obi. He was saying that the Southeast have been practically abandoned, and that there are Nigerians that can actually lead this country and take us out of these economic issues we have. But because of our electoral process, it's going to be almost impossible to get the right leaders. And that he now used the BRICS countries and the mints, we have amongst the mints countries, saying that their budget is way ahead of what we have. This budget right now is not productive. It cannot help us out of what we need. And also that even, I think Indonesia's education budget is way more, for their education alone,
yes,
it's bigger than our entire budget, that we've not even started with this budget that we have. And he's just insisting that we need to ensure that the Southeast is carried along, and they're also given the equal opportunity to lead this country. Moving on to the Punch. Fresh crisis in Buhari's home. Aisha battles Daura family. Picture here, police uncover center with 300 inmates in Kaduna. EFCC knocks over arrest of 94 Oshun nightclub clubbers. Oshomole's aides CP clash over ex-governor's home attack. Minimum wage, FG Labour in make or break meeting today. FG spent 3.3 trillion in 6 months, says minister. Panel on articles appeal not yet constituted, says Supreme Court. Yes, minimum wage.
Yes, so I have the minimum wage story. Okay. The minimum wage story is such that there's a lot of issues right now. As it is, there's a meeting today. There was a meeting yesterday, and there's going to be a meeting today. Now, today is October 15. The deadline provided is October 16. Yeah. If the government doesn't do anything about it, or there's no agreement as at the end of work, close of work tomorrow, then of course there's nothing that can be done about that. There's a part that caught my attention though, especially for those who might not be aware of what's involved. And it says Labour is demanding 29% salary increase. That's what Labour is asking for. And that's for salary levels 7 to 14. Right. And then of course, 24% adjustment for officers on salary grade level 15 to 17. Right. And of course, that's part of why they're having issues with Fire Me, saying he mentioned something else regarding the fact that those that are already on 15 to 17, they shouldn't really be complaining like those who are earning less.
That was what we thought. We should take it. Anyway, let's talk about the picture story here. The 300 inmates in Katsina.
Yeah, so in Katsina, the police also stormed this Islamic Rehabilitation Center. They say it's a fake Islamic center, and it's owned by a 78-year-old cleric, Malam Bello May Al-Majiri. So they have this center where they send children, and they're supposed to rehabilitate them. One of the inmates said he's there because his parents took him there because he's been stealing, and they're hoping that this will help them. But the thing is that they are being ill-treated and also allegedly abused, homosexually abused. And there are many kids from Burkina Faso, from different countries also. This is also, we heard it happened in Kaduna State. We remember this story. And I remember, I was talking to my mom recently about this, and she said, it seems like it's a cultural thing with the Hausas, because I remember growing up, like a couple of children I grew up with went to centers like this for different kind of bad behavior. But the rehabilitation centers now obviously are not doing what they're meant to do.
Regulated. Yes. So people have actually gone away and done whatever they choose to do. But really, originally, the intention was good to help to rehabilitate children.
That's how it was initially. And then besides that, just a rider to that story, there's also something about gunmen abducting 2 children from a private school in Delta State. Wow. This is about the second time something like this will be happening. Recently, some children were abducted from a private school. Though many people are thinking that this is probably a situation of a private issue because both children are of the same parents.
Moving on now to Nigerian Tribune. Really sad story. I can imagine what the family is going through right now. Nigerian Tribune, rice smuggling, 5 banks account in trouble. Religious center with children chained, discovered in Daura. We just talked about that. Why Aisha was angry in viral video, Mamman Daura's daughter opens up. Forfeited buildings wrote as presidency native budget 526 million naira for rent. Let's talk about the accounts that have been frozen.
Yes, so the Federal High Court in Abuja ordered the temporary freezing of 45 bank accounts belonging to 3 companies allegedly involved in smuggling of rice. So they are saying that these accounts will be frozen for 45 days and pending investigation. So after they've realized, but even the 45 days can still be appealed for more days if the investigations are not totally completed.
And this 45...
So they've ordered the banks. I think Zenith Bank is involved. First Bank, about 10 banks. Their head offices to make sure they close all transactions from those companies.
In a similar story, CBN is also appealing to rice millers to please not hoard rice and also don't increase the price of rice, because right now we've obviously closed the land borders. So some unscrupulous Nigerians might use this opportunity to increase.
They actually already are. Yes, it's 22,000. In fact, some 25.
Yes.
There was someone that told me they bought 28 yesterday.
Really crazy. So they're appealing to Nigerians, please don't be unpatriotic. We need you at this time to understand that you're the only ones we can go to for rights. So please, it's an opportunity to help our economy, not to make things worse for us. So this gesture is to help the economy grow, and you can't do that by hoarding your rice.
Even chicken, frozen foods. Chicken that used to be 1,100, that's Nigerian chicken per kilo, is now going for as high as 1,416, 1,17.
Jesus Christ. Thank God I buy live chicken.
Me too, so I don't know.
I don't do frozen. Anyway, let's move on to
It must be
Uganda.
more expensive to do live chicken.
It is.
What Benin, Niger must do to stop border reopen, we talked about that already. Let's find a story we've not discussed. Atiku versus Buhari, Supreme Court blasts CUPP, says we don't pander or dictate to the dictates of nobody. 19 journalists harassed, illegal arrested, detained this year, says Amnesty. Government has abandoned us to our fate, parents of abducted Kaduna schools girls lament, and minimum wage, your letter to SGF, declaration of trade dispute, Ngige tells Labour. Let's talk about the Kaduna school girls that was abducted.
We took this a few weeks ago, Engravers College in Kaduna, where armed men went in there, abducted 6 girls and 2 staff members. So parents, at the time, the government says that they're on it, but the parents are saying that it doesn't seem like the government are on anything because they have had to come together for the demands that have been asked of them by the government. But also, they feel that because government has been posturing to be on it, the abductors have refused to release their daughters. So they're, so they've done what they've been asked to do, but because government says they're on it, they're like, okay, let's see. We just hope these girls are, these people, the girls and the staff are
released very soon. One last story concerning the journalists that have been arrested. Obviously, there's been 19 of them since January, according to Amnesty International.
Yes, they released the report Endangered Voices, saying that
this year.
Yeah, this year, that about 19 of them, journalists have been harassed and arrested because of the fact that they have been giving dissenting views, when they are talking about holding the government accountable. So there's no freedom of expression anymore, and journalists are working under fear. And some lawyers and the NUG as well are saying that this has got to stop. This is democracy. We need to be able to allow freedom of expression, for us to hold our government accountable.
Trust me, we can relate.
Yeah, we can.
We can certainly relate. All right, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we have a few hot topics. In fact, the hottest topic right now is the First Lady. The issue she's having with people in her house. That I think is Mamman Daura's family, Fatima and a few of her older sister. There was this back and forth in the papers. We'd like to hear your views on it. What are your thoughts? Do you think is right or do you think is wrong? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Recently, there have been lots of alleged issues surrounding our First Lady. In recent interview with Mrs. Buhari, confirmed the authenticity of the video that circulated online last week, saying she was the woman in the video speaking angrily. After being denied access to parts of the villa, according to reports, she gave a rare insight into the power struggles at the State House, with details of how her husband's relatives physically, allegedly confronted her. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Where there are issues of the fact that she lives with the president, she's the president's wife, the villa is her house, is her home. You'd assume that it should have that respect of the woman of the house.
Yeah.
However, the video, Fatima, who is the daughter of Mamman Daura, came out with that video and came out and to give us her own side of the story. Saying that the First Lady, that they've actually been asked to leave that the glass house, I believe.
Yes.
The glass house.
Yes.
That's because that's where the president had allocated for Mamman Daura's family. They lived there for 3 years. Yeah. Now, because his son, who was in a car accident, the bike accident last year, was still recuperating. So he's coming back from Germany. So they asked the family to exit that place to go to somewhere else allegedly bigger. Or even bigger for the family.
House 8, that's what
House
it's called.
8, thank you. Now, they were also have left Glass House. Now, Glass House is supposed to be closer to Aisha Buhari's apartment.
Yes.
Now, so according to Fatima, while they were trying to leave, exit, Madam First Lady came, and that was where the confrontation started. Now, when you saw the story, what came to mind? What are your thoughts? I've only heard Fatima's side, in fairness. We've not been able to reach out to the First Lady's aides to hear her own side of the story, but I know she has confirmed that she was one of the videos, so we know that it was actually her, it wasn't as if somebody else. But in your own view, without even hearing from the First Lady, what are your general thoughts on this confrontation?
Go ahead.
Okay, so when I saw the video and I read the story, according to Fatima, she said that they were packing their things to leave. They actually work, so the plan was for them to come back on Saturday and move to the building. So, but then they were putting their things together, and then the First Lady walked in, saw that the door was locked, took a chair and broke the handle of the door while screaming in Hausa and insulting them. And then the daughter ran out of the room. The chair missed her, by a few inches missed her, and then she was insulting them, raining abuses on them, speaking Hausa that they are trying to take over. She's been suppressed for a long time. And so when I heard all of that, I was like, okay, this is actually family matter. Concern us. Exactly. In the sense that you people have been living together for years, so why bring this to the fore? But now that the video is out and we are asked to give our opinion, my own number one is, does Mamman Daura have a political appointment? Why is he or she in? He or she.
He's part of the president's kitchen cabinet. Those are the
kitchen cabinet. I like when people say Mamman Daura.
Mamman, that's his name.
Mamman.
No, Mamman.
You're laughing at me.
Mamman Daura.
If there's no political appointment that we know of, we just know the kitchen cabinet. There is no, according to the papers, there is no political appointment. So I'm wondering, they have been living in that house this is more like washing your dirty linen in public.
Yes.
You've been living codedly in that house for 3 years. We did not hear anything. You've been eating with taxpayers' money. Yes. We have to probe this.
Because there are so many things involved, but the girl obviously doesn't realize it. Okay, so for me, it's a case of this is this woman's house. She says, I do not like this. Now, Aisha Buhari does not strike me as someone who is aggressive. I may be wrong since I don't know her personally. So for her to come there with a chair, why did you lock the door in the first instance? Somebody comes to the house. It is expected that this is a house, for goodness sake. You open the door. So that already raises a question. Why was the door locked? Why wasn't it open to her? So now let's assume the door was locked for one reason or the other. For her to have to carry a chair
to break
it, something had happened. And then let's remember that the report, especially from the Punch newspaper, says a presidency source said the girl did not include videos of when she first insulted the First Lady. That's why I was saying that there were things that happened. So she picked it from when the woman started reacting. There was no video of before reaction. What led to the reaction?
So let me hear your own initial thoughts on this.
I found this story very disturbing. I am very, disappointed in Fatima that you take a video of something that happened in your home, especially knowing the position of this woman that she holds in this country. Exactly. And then, for some reason, I don't know if you released it intentionally or someone stole it from you, but that you should have such a video. First of all, forget us. We'll just talk now and then go back to our homes. This is probably your auntie, her children, your cousins. Why would you do so? Why would you bring that woman down? Even if she was not the wife of the president, why would you do that?
Based on what Fatima said, she recorded it because she wanted evidence to show to her parents and security officials.
So why is it out for public consumption?
Well, that's a different question. You're right. How did it get out? Yeah. And also, she also recorded it because the First Lady is known to say that she's been oppressed within the villa. So she wanted something to show that, listen, this is not me. This is her just being aggressive.
Two. The president's wife also said she was surrounded. Behind her were her security operatives. They should have stopped that video from being recorded. Yes. Why were they watching? So
obviously
Fatima
that is proof of oppression.
Yes. So obviously that woman feels threatened in the villa. There are people who have some sort of power or authority over her.
Mariam, yes. Okay, investigative journalism.
It doesn't make sense. Everything she's just, I know that maybe that video was brought out to discredit the wife of the president, but it makes you look bad. It made the security operatives look bad. It made the person taking that video look bad.
Let me there's a chairman of the Civil Society Network Against Corruption, Mr. Lanre Suraj, said that this is more like confirming the fear of the First Lady, that there's been a cabal that's really running things behind.
We go into the issue of
government.
cabal because, listen, Mamman Daura is the president's nephew. His family. Now, it brings us to the issue of families living with us. Because now they've been there for 3 years. Now, is it that the First Lady had issues with these people staying within the villa? Does she have the right to have an issue that family staying in the house? Does she have that right?
Yes, she has that right. Because the thing is, I think
but the president needs
out,
his trusted hands close to him.
and the wife is not happy. The wife is the number one trusted person. The wife should be the number one trusted person you have. We have been advised to marry our best friend. So if your wife says, I don't like this person for whatever reason, she may be seeing things that the president is not seeing.
Interestingly,
it does not. You can enter your car and drive to the gate, press on the bell, and they'll let you in the morning and go back at night.
You don't have to
live
there.
on the premises to be a trusted.
No,
That's not even the issue.
What's even interesting that the president not even going to give Mamman Daura one flat in one place, right next to the First Lady's zone. What is he trying to do?
Something is going on that we are not aware
There
of.
are just so many loopholes
Let me
here.
take the Alaji's call. Good morning. Are you there, Alaji?
Good morning.
Morning.
What are your thoughts on this issue? Is our First Lady being threatened in her own house?
All of you were carried away.
We are carried away, okay.
All of you were carried away by this story.
Okay.
Because all of you, it's a dream of every woman to be possessive. And to protect her 18 in her house. Secondly, you see, let us balance the story, please. Please. You see, the lady said the video went viral because of the people she sent it to. She did not open it to go viral. That's number one. Number two, about Aisha Buhari. You see, this thing, she felt threatened in her home. Every woman wants to be in charge. She's not in charge. We have to be very frank about that. And we all knew it's a national issue that Mamman Daura is one of the powers behind the throne. And it's a normal thing with any government. A president can draw you closer to him, and you can decide to utilize it or abuse it. Mamman Daura is a relation of Muhammadu Buhari and one of the confidants of Muhammadu Buhari. But what is very clear here, there should be a place to draw a line.
Yes.
You see, there are certain informations we had from Aisha Buhari that are very, very good to us because they are inside story of what is happening to our nation. And secondly, you see why we are afraid of this influence of First Ladies on the president is that we knew what our former First Ladies did with power. You can see why. Most of the sensitive decisions were taken in the bedrooms, not in the council, not to the betterment of Nigeria.
That's normal.
So what is very clear here, we need to balance it.
Okay, thank you very much, Alaji. But when they tell you that the First Lady allegedly picked up a chair, slams it on the door, now doesn't that suggest to you
That she's been pushed
that
to the
she
wall?
has a temper issue? Doesn't that suggest? I'm not saying she does. I'm just saying, if we're here going by what Fatima posted, we don't know how true it is. Fatima could have been lying. But from what she has said, could that also suggest that she has probably had confrontation issues with the family of Mamman Daura?
So it could be that she's a... First, there are two sides to what you just said. So it could be that she's a chair-wielding person. She gets upset a bit, and she takes and then she takes a chair and she wields it around. Or it could be that
she was pushed to the wall.
Been bottling up her frustration for so long, and she just, did that. And the sad thing is that when someone like that does something for the first time, the one that does it every day, everybody respects you and give you space. But the one that you're always quiet and bottling things, the day you did, they will call you all sorts of names.
Because it was proof that let us have something to
I also marvel at the audacity of Fatima to pick up that phone. This is the First Lady. I mean, I feel they catch you.
No, there's no respect.
Yeah.
No respect.
What I see is a tussle for power.
Who? In someone's house. I'm the first lady.
Forget, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. You don't know how Mamman Daura is holding that place.
You don't know either.
Yeah,
you don't know.
I'm just judging from the effrontery for her to take that video recording is because she has a kind of backing. Yes. It's possible they even have the president's backing against the wife. It's very possible. We're analyzing it.
Okay. Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there? Hello? Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, Adebisi on the line.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. Yeah, on this story, I keep hearing people saying this is the president's private lie, and you shouldn't bother anybody. And I keep saying the leadership, the quality of leadership of the man starts from his home. If our Baba cannot put his home in order, then...
I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any tweets on this so far?
Yes, we have so many tweets. Okay, so she says that, sorry, Bilky says, okay, I don't know what she's responding to because it's half. You know, I said the same thing when I saw the post here on Twitter. This is Bilky's.
Okay, we
I
need to round up.
condemn the recording and how the video got into circulation. Every family has issues they would rather keep behind closed doors. I believe there was a lapse somewhere and this video got out because someone wanted it leaked. It could have remained within them as a family.
All right, Daniel Tommy says, why will the president house his friend in the villa? Is that not corruption because they are not employee of the president? Andre Stratham says, please help me tell Mo. Honestly, we don't care about Buhari's personal affairs.
Okay, well, as a roundup, let me come to you. I'm going to ask the question across the If you are the first lady and your husband has brought in his nephew in the house and they have a whole flat and you want to, how would you feel? Or would you have an issue with it?
It depends on the relationship with the nephew. Okay. If I am someone who's close to the nephew, if I'm comfortable with the nephew, I won't have a problem with it.
If you're not?
If I'm not comfortable with the nephew, you won't even get a villa in the first place. Yes.
Okay, Mary, let me go to you.
You know, when it comes to family issues, as far as I'm concerned, as a woman, there's a limit as well. You should know when to step back. So if I was the first lady, of course, it's something that probably pushed her to this. But if I was the first lady, I won't mind. If you want to even give them the entire house, I won't mind. At worst, you will not see me coming home. When I don't come home early enough...
Marry another wife.
No, let's see. If he wants to marry another wife, you like hold him to ransom.
It doesn't bother you.
When it comes to family issues, I've always believed that let the man handle his family. Let me stay out of it. When we are together in the bedroom, we'll talk it out, we'll thrash it out. But I would avoid confrontations with the family because when we sort it out later, people who don't know the true stories are the ones who will make it worse. Saying that's how she used to treat them.
Yeah. First of all, right, I think with most Hausa families, they sort of live communally. You know, they have like other members of the family. So living with someone else, I don't think is the problem. But the sort of relationship that you have, the thing is everybody has a role, but there should be boundaries. She's the wife in that house, so she's not coming on our national TV and insisting she's the president, but she is the wife of the president, and that villa is her home.
I know a wife.
It's her country.
I have to run. I know a wife of a leader in this country, and she's in charge.
Yes.
So from the security to the room,
what am I doing?
You feel her presence.
Yes.
I will not mention her name. Those of you that know,
we know.
But from the gates man, you feel her presence. Wait till you want to try that woman. Unfortunately, we have to go. That's all we can take. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to other topics. Today ends Baby Loss Awareness Week. To commemorate this, our guests will be sharing it with us what Through Mother's Tears campaign is and how they are giving every mother who needs emotional support following pregnancy and baby loss. Joining us on the show is the founder, through mother's tears, Zainab Mahmud Abdllah. Welcome to the show, Zainab.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And welcome Nima Akashat Zibri back in the building. I know you're stuck in traffic. Good to have you on the show.
I wasn't stuck in traffic. I was the late siege in my community this morning. The tankers again. So even though we left home early, as I saw them arriving yesterday, it still wasn't enough. So you have double parking day blocking us from going out and just sitting there.
Imagine
so
that.
everybody, they keep, when you see an official come, let's just keep going back and find another way. So I went back, I went into Satellite Town again. I found another way. I had to go back because when I got to the local government, LNNC, this Lagos State Neighborhood Watch, are supposed to lay guard to. And they couldn't ask 3 truck drivers who were also blocking to just reverse and move into the hall by the local government in Oriade.
We've been
They just told
compromised.
all of us to go back again. So we kept going back till I ended up in Kirikiri this morning.
Bele. You'll be all right, don't worry. So we're going to move on to this issue of seeing things through a mother's eyes.
A bereaved mother's
A bereaved mother's eyes. You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So Nima can definitely relate to this. She's been through this phase where she lost a child. And I know you also had that experience.
Yes.
Could you share with us what happened in your own situation?
Mine was very tragic because my baby was a year, a month, and 17 days.
Wow.
And then normally, I've been having some weird feelings before then, which I couldn't point to. I didn't know. I was always raising it to my husband that there's something wrong. But you know, as every mother, death will be the last thing that will come to your mind. Because I keep my baby on the bed, and I always see him at the other extreme. He never wanted to have body contact with me, which was strange.
Okay.
He never wanted to. So close to his last days, I think the day before he died, I got up, and my baby was like almost into the wall. And I got up, I told my husband, there's something spiritual about what is going on. I don't know, but I know there's something spiritual. Maybe his spirit doesn't go with mine. He is a baby, his spirit is clean, possibly I'm a dirty person. And my husband was like, no. At least during the day, he allows you carry him. He doesn't allow anybody. I said, there's something wrong. I can't place it, but I know there's something wrong. So the day it happened, normal, every day, but there's some other things that happened. And then I bathed him, I breastfed him, I left him on the bed. I don't do breakfast, but that day I wanted to do breakfast for a reason best known to God. So I went to the kitchen to finish cooking. I left him on the bed as usual. He was working. I left him, I went to the kitchen. He went to meet his brother in the room, and then he was playing. The brother left him and came to meet me. He was telling me that this is what Zaid was doing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, we're laughing. So I told the brother, go and do your daddy's room. I didn't tell him to go to my room. So throughout that period, nobody was there. So the little boy, the normal him, is always with me in the kitchen. But that day, he wasn't with me, and I didn't notice. It happened within a period of 15 minutes. So let's say 10 to 15 minutes. Then I was in the kitchen. I finished cooking. I went to the sitting room. I was eating. My husband was dragging the food with me. So I got angry. I said, you know what? I'm going to share the food to your kids. So I called my other kids. And I bring Zaid for me. The moment I said, bring Zaid for me, I noticed he wasn't within us, and I wasn't hearing any sounds in the room. So I was like, I told my daughter, I said, bring Zaid for me. I stopped eating. She came and said, Mommy, I can't find it. I said, Zaid pinned, I'll get missing. I called my son, I said, bring Zaid for me. The screaming I heard. The screaming I heard.
What exactly happened?
What happened?
Apparently, he left the brother. He went to the bathroom, took a sponge, was playing with the sponge, dropped the sponge in the bucket, wanted to reach it, went into the bucket. The bucket didn't fall.
The bucket was full.
The bucket didn't fall, was like half full. That was what happened.
And he drowned in the bucket?
He drowned.
Oh, my Lord.
No problem. So what happened, then the brother, when I told the brother to go look for him, the brother saw him in that position and he started screaming. So there was the screaming that now made myself and my husband run there. By that time, I knew. But you know, as a mother, you don't want to give up. I knew, because his lips were black, everything about him. My husband carried him. My husband was doing CPR. I was like, you're not doing it. I collected him from my husband and I started running, because there's a clinic close to my house. I was running, then I got to the gate. I jumped the staircase. I got to the gate. I started breathing into his mouth. Then the moment I breathed, you know, I heard that, I said, okay, he's still alive. He's still like, I kept breathing. I noticed if I don't breathe, he doesn't make that sound. Like, no, there's more. Like, no, there's more to this. I started running, and I'm usually veiled, but that morning I wasn't veiled. I went out like a mad woman.
So was there like an emergency rescue for him?
I went to, he was gone.
By the time you got to the hospital.
Gone.
Okay, so obviously that was a difficult moment for your family.
Yes.
And it's always difficult to have these kind of conversations with mothers. I mean, it's not an easy conversation to have. However, I want you to take us through the process of healing. Yes, it happened. Yeah. How did you come over blaming yourself, blaming your husband, blaming your children? Did you ever have that process, and how did you overcome?
Thank you. What happened was, I have a sister that this kind of thing has happened to. And then she told me that you and your husband have to talk about this, because there's going to be like underground resentment if you don't forgive. Thank God your husband was at home to see what happened. Thank God you were at home, because I have a maid. You would have blamed. It would have been a blaming game. Your husband would have blamed you. You would have blamed the maid, you know, like that. So my sister said, you need to come out with your husband and talk about it. And that was the first step for me. And then family support. That's what started through Mother's Tears. Not just family support, support from every angle. Because I looked at it and I was like, one thing that feared me when it happened was, how would I survive? I was looking like, I can't survive this. I don't know. But you know, like it is, a religion already has the background set, but practical approach to healing, I needed that. First thing my mother did was, she wanted to pack his things. And I said, no, because everything, toys were lying around, his clothes, and I was like, I like it that way. I still feel his presence. My mother said, no. I said, we'll start fighting over it. Then my mother was like, do you think you're the only one grieving? I lost my grandson. And she started crying. So I said, you know what? Do what you want to do. And then she went ahead. She packed everything. The first thing that hit me was his playpen. Because I used to keep it at a certain... I came out of the room and he was no longer there. And he hit me. And I was like, okay. I wanted to start crying, but I told myself, last year this playpen was not there and you had a life. So take yourself back to that life.
Let's talk about mothers who would not cry, but they will have a lifetime of guilt.
I didn't cry.
So in the mother, this is your own story now. Let's talk about mothers who, crying is for me a therapy. Yeah. So if you can cry, it's good. For me, I don't know how to cry immediately. So it might take me 5 days to start crying. Okay. But some women would never cry. Let's talk about those mothers who know how to have a guilt bout, and they will have it for a lifetime. Because, you know, there was one step that they could have taken that could have averted what happened. Yes. For instance, this was an accident. Yes. My case, there was a doctor's advice. So every mother must have one thing that they refused to do, that they took a risk on, that will cause them to have guilt for a long time. So let's talk about those mothers and how they would cross that line.
Okay, that's why I started through Mother's Tears, because I discovered that one major thing that helped me was other mothers. And I didn't know, you know, it's until something happens to you that you get to know from people. I started meeting other mothers that walk up to me, oh, I heard what happened to you. It happened to me. I was like, what did you do? This was what I did. So I started looking at like, if you could survive it, I will survive it. So what I did, I said, okay, you know what? Because I also noticed some people are like, oh, it was just a baby, you won't feel the pain, you know? So I was like, no. I started through Mother's Tears, and I said, okay, I'm going to be taking stories from different mothers. So that at the end of the day, you have the one that relates to you. So I've been meeting so many mothers, speaking with them, taking their stories, which I'll be bringing up at interval, so that at the end of the day, I would have had, there's less likelihood that you will not have the story that relates to you. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at giving mothers, just allowing grieving mothers to have their smile back. That's the aim of it.
Well done. I mean, it's so moving for me. For most people, once something like this happens, the marriage falls apart.
Yes, exactly.
And you mentioned your husband being a support.
Yes.
Can you tell us the sort of communication you had with him?
Like, you know, like I said, that my sister told me what to do, and then my husband told me blank, because when we went to see the therapist, the therapy was like,
Madam, you did see a therapist?
Yes, I did. Because I was talking out of point. Right. I couldn't cry. I needed to cry, but I couldn't. So I was even scared for myself that I might lose my sanity. But So one of my friends said, Zainab, I'm going to arrange a therapist for you.
Okay.
Do you think it's okay? You can go for it. I said, no problem. So the first day we went to meet the therapist, what he said, Madam, you're very lucky. I've had situations where some husband and wife come here, the wife is beating herself up over what has happened, and then the husband is still blaming her. But that you have your husband supporting you is a step. So I think it's very important. And my husband saw what happened. My husband, and you know, because we've been having some discomfort before it happened, we've been having some things that we couldn't place our hands on. So it was like, okay, this was what was going to happen. And it looked like God was already healing me even before he took him.
Before I take a question, let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Mariah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please, first of all, I will talk about the two things we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one, you talked about the president's family in Nassau Rock.
Right.
What I want to say in that is that from ab initio, the First Lady has completely complaining about not being in charge. And this is a typical Hausa man's method because they live together and they will always poke nose into such things. So it's normal. What I expected him to have done is, if you love this, your nephew or whatever, there are government houses all over Nigeria you can take him or her to, not in the presidency. In Asarok. Asarok is not meant for public, it's meant for the president and family. So anything short of that is not acceptable internationally. Then the woman reacted. You can't blame her. My wife will react and react very well. And I give it to her because it is her right to react.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for your thoughts.
So, you know, sometimes I feel there may be degrees of pain depending on the ages of the children, because I lost a child. The baby stopped growing at about 3 months, and I didn't know. So I just noticed that...
Internally?
Internally, just stopped, and I didn't know. So I just noticed that I was having some sort of rash on my body. I still had the symptoms of pregnancy.
Okay.
So I went to the hospital for them to check. I always like to check, and they checked, and I was like, your baby has stopped growing. And I broke down because I had waited for that baby to come. And a lot of events happened before that baby came. So it was painful for me, and I didn't know how to handle the feeling. Did I eat something? I was trying to blame myself. And somehow, by the grace of God, I was able to go out of it. But then I know that if I had spoken to somebody, a professional, it would have been easier.
You would have healed
faster and easier for me. So this organization, do you have people who you work with who are mental health experts that can help these women?
Yes, that's why I got affiliated with Baby Loss Awareness Week. And it's a body in UK that has different charity organizations in this related subject together. And then they actually started in 2002, started by grieving parents coming together to sell this ribbon. And then, you know, from there it became a body, then different charity organizations started up, and then they've grown. So I felt like I should have a good backing where I'm just starting. I just became bereaved last year, and I wanted to I wanted to grow to something that would support Grey Mother, because it's a silence that we don't talk. Nobody talk
for you, but let me take this call from Badegeshin. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Good morning.
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Nima, good morning too.
Welcome.
And good morning to everybody in the studio. I must say congratulations to the lady in the middle. It's not even overcoming such incident in life. And the day after is always what is most important. Because if you don't have people around you to support you, it's always a big task. Who do you look up to? God, people around you, and you don't have that support. And thank God that you have a foundation, because a lot of people are dying in silence.
Exactly.
God bless you for what you are doing.
Thank you very much.
People have a platform to really share their thoughts and their feelings.
So my question to you is there like an end to this grieving? Is there like because at the end of the day, do you ever stop grieving, or is there a point where you feel like you're now healed, you're fine, you can move on? Or do I have to be part of this organization forever? I mean, is it going to be a continuous healing process for the rest of my life? Or do I just Is there a point where I'm done, I'm healed, and I move on?
Exactly, that's our aim, for you to heal and move on. So that's why I feel like, in my own case, the doctor said I have something called protective mechanism in my brain, because it was like the moment the midwife confirmed to me that he was gone, it's like every feeling that I have for him shut down. So I stopped feeling pain. I couldn't cry. I couldn't do anything. I was looking for tears, I didn't see. And I noticed I wasn't feeling anything. That was my mother's fear, because my mom kept asking me, do you still feel empty? I said, I feel empty. I felt nothing. It was I thought I wasn't grieving. It was the therapist that told me that, madam, you are grieving, because I lost weight. I started battling BP, low BP. But to cry and feel pain, no.
You were numb.
I was numb, that's the word. And from that period till now, I still feel same. So they said, you know, everybody with how you adapt to situation. My brain just like told me, shut down, because they said it could have led me to mental illness.
Nima, let me let you jump in here. Because
So I wanted to talk about the cultural beliefs around this kind of thing. So I held my baby till he stopped breathing. And my mom, except for my mom and the midwife that was there, only me know what I see. But when I got back home and I kept saying my baby, say, no, that one has gone, God will bring another one.
No.
Till date, I still say my baby.
Exactly.
So, because I held my baby, he breathed, I can still remember the features and everything. How do you advise those support systems now, family members who think they understand everything? They know exactly what you've been through. And then the spiritual ones, of course, because you talk spiritual, and I think we should be careful here.
Yes.
That, you know, blame a circumstance or a relative or someone around who's not friendly for what has happened.
Exactly.
How do we deal with those, you know, those
That's why I want to, I say it out that if you start blaming, you channel your healing ability into two. Instead of you to concentrate on one, you're on two. Because one, you're on resentment level. You're thinking this person is the one responsible. You don't know, but you're just like...
Have a strong feeling.
Exactly. Somebody killed my baby, you know? And then you also want to heal. So, but we're out to tell you to channel your energy to one direction. God is protecting you, and he knows why it happened. If he didn't want your baby to go, he wouldn't have taken him. So once you accept that in you, you will now find yourself channeling your energy to one direction, to healing.
Talk to the family members too. What
Okay, the family member, then we're also talking about, because I'm not out for emotional support alone. We're out for emotional protection.
Okay.
Because the grieving mother does not need to be exposed to some things. There are some things you just like, oh, she's very vulnerable. Don't take it to her. I remember in my own situation, my younger sister broke her hand. And for more than a week, I didn't know. Truly, when she told me, I broke down. And she was like, this was why I didn't tell you. So my family kept so many things away from me. Like, no, don't bring it to her. No. So that's what I'm advising, because some families, some people don't know. Even some friends don't know what you shouldn't hear at that moment.
Exactly. Because I was going to say...
So the family...
Yes, when you're talking to, let's say a woman comes to you and she's grieving, and then you're having these conversations with her, do you like carry her husband along? Because sometimes you get all the necessary help you need and then you go home and you are meeting the same situation that you're not, people that are supposed to be protecting you are not aware of how they can. So do you like bring your husband,
I'm just starting.
Okay.
I'm looking at it growing to that extent. If I have people that can support me, I don't mind. But because all I'm out for is to help grieving mothers. Because when it happened to me, I felt like I wouldn't have survived this without the support. Let me be there for the woman that had no one. Because there are some women there, they had no one to even knock on their door to say, madam, I know what happened to you and I'm sorry.
All right, let me just say the last question for you.
Emotional protection. I love that you said that, because there was a very well-known person too in the public eye who lost their child. And there was a lot of almost backlash on social media. What exactly are the steps you tell a grieving mother to take to protect herself during that time? Because the thing is, for this particular grieving mother, she went on social media and she read So what do you tell her? Are there steps you can tell her to lead her from day 1 to, let's say, day 7, you know, to protect her emotions during this time?
First of all, she needs to convince herself that it wasn't her fault. Because if that's a first time she's been a mother, fine, it could have happened. But if that is not your first child, you have successfully taken care of another child. So nobody can blame you if a mistake happened. So I would tell you, you need to work on yourself first. Convince yourself that it wasn't your mistake. As long as you have, how many things can we do, for God's sake? Our kids grow up.
Add to that, you know, apart from convincing yourself, you have to do what works for you. So I sent my mother out the night I got back home. I sent my mother-in-law out as well, because two of them can't be crying and I need to. You can't be killing me when I'm killing myself and dying already. So even if they think you're crazy, do what works for you. For those women who might not necessarily
but, you know, mentally, because like you say, it's mental torture, kind of.
Yes.
So you need to work on yourself to convince yourself that...
We have to round up on this,
I had someone that told me that... She called me and she was like, what kind of mistake is that? And I just smiled, because she doesn't know. I just told her that sometimes when something has not happened to you, you are quick to judge.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on this. We have to round up with this. Let's go on a break now. We're commemorating Breast Cancer Month in October, so we'll be discussing breast cancer when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, report has it that breast cancer is by far the most common cancer in women worldwide, both in the developed world and developing countries. Also, there are about 1.38 million new cases and 458,000 deaths from breast cancer. Now, joining us on the show is a medical radiographer and therapist, Adebisi Onojobi Salako. Also, we have a medical radiographer, Bayode-Thomas. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So you can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. We talk about breast cancer every single year. And obviously it's important we continue to commemorate this day, this month especially. But as a radiographer, which is something you come across every single time, what has been your observation in the amount of people, how people come to detect? And when they do find out, what are the steps you always advise to ensure that people get tested early? Let me come to you, madam.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. People generally are scared of coming up for tests because of the fear of the unknown. They don't want to know. I've advised and encouraged some people in the past, and they say, Auntie, please, it's better I don't know. No matter what you say. They say they prefer to be in the dark, which is dangerous. And in the other hand, a lot have come up at early stages. You get the lump removed, you live your life. Even it is worse if at the end of the day, this lump is detected to be cancerous. But then you've taken it out. So the other cells in your body are healthy. So we are encouraging the public generally. And I must say here, it's not only for females. Breast cancer also goes for males. We have seen it. Some males have come up with lumps, funny shapes, and you discover that they've got this. And when they are taken out on time, they live their life. So not coming up at all is unhealthy and dangerous.
On Monday the 13th was the no bra day. And a lot of women believe that, you know, the bra is sort of linked to breast cancer because, you know, it's the only item very close to this organ we're talking about. How true is that? And, you know, what exactly should we do in our selection if the bra causes us, you know, predisposes us to cancer?
All right. Can I?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Most of us wear this underwire. But now we are being discouraged.
I didn't know.
Not to wear underwire.
It will not hold.
And it will hold. You get your right size.
Okay.
I just returned from the UK and I did a lot of auditing. And most of the bras you have on their shelves are they don't have wires.
For real?
Yes. And they are like this gym
bras?
Bras.
Okay.
Well, if I may say, I'm wearing one.
That flattens.
Yes.
That flattens
Let
you out.
us just say something here. We need to follow technology. We need to follow advancement. And we need to follow research. We can't live the present with the eyes of the past. The future will be bleak. And I must tell you, some of us women, when we wear this underwire, we have some sores with heat. Underneath your breasts. And before you know it, you don't want this to develop.
Now, let me pause you for a quick second. People like me, we are not agbalumo, we're not oranges. We are in the pawpaw watermelon level. We cannot be wearing sports bra. People, I have 3 types of bras. During the day, it is wire. When I get home, it is semi-wire. When I go to sleep, it is no wire. So there are 3 different. We need 24 hours I am wearing. You cannot tell me not to wear bra.
No. You will see that these bras are even more comfortable.
These
For
ones?
real.
The sports bra.
They're not really sports bra. I described it like sports bra. They're not sports bra, but they are more comfortable. Even if you're not wearing a singlet underneath, you feel you're wearing singlet. And it, holds your body firm.
Okay. So let's talk to Ghana because he's getting uncomfortable.
Very, very uncomfortable.
But yeah, as a radiographer, I want you to share with us your experience with women coming to do tests because we hear this all the time. Nima, when was the last time you got checked?
Have you gone?
Have you been checked recently?
I checked. No, I still checked myself this week.
Oh, good. Where did you look?
I know how to check it. I've checked myself.
I have the pictures.
I must be arrested. I've not been checked recently, and that's bad. But go ahead.
Yes, so I'm not just so I'm not just speaking this as a radiographer. I'll also be speaking as a cancer enthusiast.
Right.
Because since 2017, I've been on the cancer journey. Because I don't know why it has been very, passionate for me because I lost an aunt to it, a very close aunt at that. So I started the campaign about cancer and educating majorly. So we go through to all the schools. So when we talk, the reason I'm saying this is because when we talk about education and awareness, it is out there. The education is out there. Now, the problem that I've seen over time has been that even after you now check, eventually, what happens after you, don't let's say Nigerians are not even checking themselves. They are actually. People are checking themselves. Now, what happened to those? So what happens next when somebody detects a lump? Now, you're hearing that the price of his surgery is about, let's say, 150,000, 200,000 naira. That person will rather feel like it's just a boil. Now, let me tell you something, that the health state in Nigeria is not that good to the point that a doctor, you can have some private centers, I don't have names, so I won't say that I'll cover names. You have some people that will tell you that they will give you a broad spectrum antibiotics that can kill the lump, that can
shrink the lump.
Yeah. I mean, these are things that happen in this same Nigerian sector, health sector. So it is not just even about the awareness getting to the patients or to those outside. It's also in the health sector that what is our
prescription?
What's our input? What is the voice? Because now we are meant to, there are cancer clinics, yes. There are, cancer clinics where people should go to directly. When you detect any form of all this. Now we teach people how to, carry out breast self-examination. Most times, even these lumps can be just swollen lymph nodes. It can be, fibrocystic lumps.
You may miss it.
That are not cancerous. Most of these things are not cancerous, but because of over time, you will have gone to the clinic and then they will have told you this and then they say to take it out.
That brings us back to you, misdiagnosis. So who tells us
not even
one
misdiagnosis. Even when you get the diagnosis right. I mean, radiologists, when we do, as radiographers, we carry out mammograms. So let's say we carry out mammograms on those above 40 and then we take ultrasound for those below 40. Now, they are Bayard scores. Bayard means breast imaging reporting data system. It helps radiologists to stage all this, to stage the diagnosis of whatever you are detecting in the breast. Now, this Bayard scores helps us to know what stage are we in this lump. Do you understand? So, but it is not even a matter of misdiagnosis.
Okay, all right, let me come to...
Most Nigerians believe that cancer is for the rich. It's a rich man's sickness. Because even when you have examinations that are free, you know, we have a lot of organizations coming up to make sure that these exams are free for women to go and check. You now go and check and find that something is there, but you do not have the money. The money for surgery is not free. You have to pay. And when you're mentioning 150, I'm just looking at you, it's way more than that.
Yes.
And then people get scared, they can't afford it. So is there anything, any plan to help these people, even if it's going to be like installments? Abroad, they take a lot of gbese. Everything, to buy a phone, they'll pay installmentally. Is there a way some of these organizations can make that arrangement that the poor can access this and pay small, so it doesn't break them?
Let me come to you, Matt. You think that can be arranged?
When he was talking, what we always say, the government has a role to play. What is our national health scheme like in this country? I remember years ago, and I know they still do it, in the UK, even in the US, they keep writing you. They will load you with letters. You are due for this. You are due for pap smear. You are due for ultrasound. You are due for, you know, everything like that. Until you report, they'll keep asking you. What are we doing in this country? We have
just
all
recently added it to the NHIS.
Yes.
We just recently.
I pray we make it thrive. Because a lot has been in place in the past. Some of us have been talking and talking. But it is you and I, by the time we get there, what do we do? What do we do? In this country, anything that is right, and that we cut off some of our ills, we don't want it to see the daylight. What is our health system like?
Exactly.
We radiographers, we see a lot. We might say, okay, some people tag it as the disease of the elites. No. In the villages, you find some people hiding with sores.
Yes.
They cover up. They don't know what it is. Even in the city, we don't know what it is. Talk less of the villages. And these things, most of it is hereditary. It is in the genes. Do we have the history of, do we have family history?
Yes.
When people die, do we do autopsy to
No.
know
The
what
cause
killed
of death.
that person? For instance, I always counsel people, on your birthday, what do you do? Go for your medicals.
Yes.
I have done mine. My birthday was October 2nd.
I also did mine. In August.
Yeah, I've not done, no. I will not lie.
Full body check.
It's very
I've not
important. Maybe perhaps some of us are more privileged. But then I want to solicit that some of us in the society, we have the financial means. When you have to throw some parties, I'm not saying we don't throw parties. What do we do to
Can I just
assist?
hold your hand, please?
What do we do to assist the
yourself
poor
a gift?
people as gifts?
Okay,
It goes a long way.
Like
I
pay
am
for
sorry,
it,
it's
right.
not as if I don't like parties. I'm not saying people shouldn't have parties.
It's good.
But what do we give back?
To the society.
Not even buying rice to give people. No, that is not.
Not even give. What you give back
to give people.
No,
that is
not
not.
even give. What you give back might be the long thing, but what you give to yourself.
Right.
So you want to have a party? Have you checked yourself?
Have you checked
Right.
yourself?
Gotcha. Let me go ahead. Let me
So,
50,000.
ma'am, as Mariah mentioned earlier, we have these talks every year.
Yes.
But I would like to know what the data is now. Are there improvements in people who are checking themselves? Are there improvements in medication, improvements in treatment and awareness, things? What are the improvements so far? Or we're
you
just
talk,
talking?
Bayo, what are we doing about increasing the number of radiotherapists and radiographers in this country? Because we are so few. And the few that are here, some of us have left.
Some are planning to go.
Going to Canada.
But people like
You are going.
people like me, I refused to go. But you will not know that I'm retired. But I'm still active. That is, I still have something to give.
Right.
From experience, I still need to talk and counsel people and be with the younger ones. For
Baya,
instance, we are having a conference.
Why are you going and going?
Well,
You can't stop him.
no,
We can make a demand. You're not going.
really, we're making demands for years. But the statistics now is that survival rate for cancer in Nigeria is 5%, as unlike 85% in the US. The US is the benchmark because the radiology system in the US is, is top notch.
Right.
And because of what she said, there people are constant. The healthcare system is welcoming. But the problem with Nigeria is it's not even, I can't even blame anybody because everybody is trying to do the best that they can. Do you understand? So even we in the healthcare system, we don't even want you to come.
Why?
Because there are a lot we are seeing. So at what point we will start telling you, please come if you not come, don't come. That's how bad it has gotten to. So it is not even about the people because we are the ones that are educated. They are not, so they don't know what to come and expect here. My mom had postmenopausal bleed. Sorry, I'm digressing from breast cancer. She has postmenopausal bleed, yes. She told me that her period came. And the last time I knew that her period came was 5 years ago. It's not possible. Your period can't come 5 years again. It has to be a postmenopausal bleed. Now, come to last week where I work, and let's do a check. This woman did not come. She went to the pharmacist. She left me, went to the pharmacist, got drugs. The drugs it was as big as this, antibiotics, broad spectrum, saying that it is infection. It is an infection that you have not checked. So now I had to go home, drive her to Lasuth. Although I know that it is nothing because she has not had any previous history,
but you were saying even
but you landed a strong point.
But bleeding cannot come.
Sorry to cut you. You've landed a strong point. You've not checked, and most Nigerians do not check.
Yes.
So we know, but all of us know that we have the chemist.
That's right there.
We have the. I was a nurse, or I was trained, or I stayed. People learn medicine by apprenticeship in Nigeria.
Yes. We have very little time, and I know that. But I wanted you to go back to the bra matter.
Okay.
Because it's important that our viewers know what exactly is the danger. Let us of wearing tight bras.
We live in the tropics.
Okay.
And a lot of diseases, infections go with our climate. I, as a person, and ideally, we should have an hygienic way of life.
Okay.
In a day, you can change either all your underwears more than once.
Yes. I know that.
Yes, because down below, you sweat. You urinate. You defecate. No matter how much you clean, there are residues. So I always advise, even right now, I train my grandchildren. I can't talk about the children because they're all grown-ups. They do what they should do.
Right.
So when I'm involved with my grandchildren, go and change your pants. Go and change your singlet. Because sweat, we have pores in our body. Everywhere. So our climate, we should not keep to one for the whole day. It's an advice.
Or if you're at home, take off the bra.
If you're at home, you don't even need the bra.
Okay, ma, please.
So it even makes you more sexy.
I know. I agree.
Is there a way that we can advise those who can actually go out without bras to stay away from bras? Is that possible?
Yes.
If you're supposed to wear a bra,
You wear a veil.
That's all. On that note,
want some horrible things.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take, ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So we hope that Nigerians understand the importance of continually getting checked. I think one thing you can leave from this is, on your birthdays, give yourself a gift. Get checked. Before you start going to party and taking your friends out, go and get checked. Me,
all your friends.
I'm coming to you, ma. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to check.
Your friends will be all right.
Have a fabulous day. Tomorrow is Wednesday, our live audience show. Want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say, come November, we are having our Association of Radiographers conference, annual conference.
Okay, where?
Here in Lagos.
Okay.
Radisson Blue in Ikeja.
All right, no worries. Sorry. Okay, my auditor is going to put me in trouble for that. But don't worry, we'll let this slide. Have a fabulous day. Tomorrow's a live audience show. Please come early. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you there. Bye.